I think that the perspective you had to share was really valuable, and the vulnerability was really appreciated.
I think vulnerability is something that I promote in that it's realistic, because social media, I think, can be damaging. Like, social media is necessary for a business, and social media does have its pros, but it definitely has its cons.
Right.
Because you feel like, oh, they're super successful, they have it all together, da-da-da-da, and it's like, we don't.
Do they?
But you don't want to put it all out there,
Right.
because then it's just like, oh, well, they fucking suck.
Yeah.
You know, so it's like you choose what you want to reveal, and it is a personal choice.
But it goes back to creating that false reality that we put out into the world.
Yeah.
So no wonder why consumers have no clue.
Yeah.
Why, like how greedy can you be? How expensive can a burger be?
Yeah.
Well, here's how we got to this price.
It's like, I made 5 cents on this burger, so just calm down.
So if you're creating a world that is centered around promoting ignorance because you don't want people to know what's real, then you can't expect people to know what you can't. How can you be conscious if you're not getting the information that you need to be aware?
Yeah, and I think that's sort of the struggle that you were talking about, is there is this conflict between good business and like being a good citizen. Yeah. And I feel like it shouldn't be that hard. And there's 2 options. You can just leave the industry and be like, it's an impossible situation, I don't know what to do. Or you can try. Yeah. And I waffle between the 2. Sometimes I just want to go back to teaching, and sometimes I'm like, this is what we're meant to do, and ultimately we'll see how it pans out.
This episode made possible by Restaurant Systems Pro.
What's going on, restaurant owners? I want to tell you about the fun we're having and the connections we're making over at Restaurant Unstoppable Network. As a matter of fact, if you're enjoying the podcast, you're going to love the network, because the network just mirrors what's happening on the podcast, but we're just going deeper and making connections. Not only am I connecting you with the leading restaurateurs on the podcast, I'm connecting you with the experts that they're going to become unstoppable. Just this week, the co-owners of Relish Bar and Restaurant in Houston, Texas joined us, and they brought their realtor with us, and we went deep into advice on site selection. We also had time to talk about tip pooling. It was great. You don't need to break the bank on restaurant coaching and consulting. All you truly need is peers, people who can reinforce that you are taking the next right best step, and access to an amazing network of the best. I can't wait to see you there. Head over to restaurantunstoppable.com/live.
With excitement, allow me to introduce to you today's guests, co-founders and co-owners of Burger Chan, Willet Feng, Diane Wu Feng, and we were hoping Ryan is going to join us. Maybe I'll get him later in the week. He is feeling unwell, but we're going to do what we can without him. I can't wait to get into it. But before we find out who you are and what your business is all about, let's get that motivational, inspirational ball rolling with a success quote or mantra. What do you got for me?
Okay, so I came prepared with my little notebook. All right. It takes a lot of courage to release the familiar and seemingly secure, to embrace the new. But there is no real security in what is no longer meaningful. There is more security in the adventurous and exciting, for in movement there is life, and in change there is power.
Yes. Dive into why you think that is so powerful, and then we'll move over to you, Willet.
Mm-hmm. Oh, and I have to give a shout out to Alan Cohen. You got to give your sources.
Yeah,
I don't know which Alan Cohen it is, but it's an Alan Cohen.
Your teacher background is really shining through today with your notes, being prepared, and making sure you give your sources.
You gotta.
I really admire it. So why did that resonate with you? Why did you share that today?
It resonates with me because I don't want to get really teary, but I got breast cancer.
Oh, that's rough.
I don't want this to be a therapy session, right?
Is this recent news?
Yeah.
Within this year. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, I'm sorry that you're dealing with that, but keep going.
And so I had to take a step back.
Yeah.
And really be like, what's worth it? So.
Well, thank you for getting vulnerable. Yeah. Thank you for opening up. And, when I hear you say that, I think to myself, we have to grow. We have to evolve. If we're not growing, we're going to be left behind. You have to get comfortable being uncomfortable. And when you I think wanting that desire to be secure holds us back, because we want to feel safe and secure. And when we get out, we put ourselves out there, we get vulnerable.
I mean, you want that control. It's like, you're not in control, but you always still want to control as much as you can.
Exactly.
Yeah, and I think in order to grow, in order to get better, in order to be more secure because you're growing, you have to take risks. You have to get out there. So that was a great way to get this thing started. And Willet, what do you got for us?
So mine is not as deep, but it's very applicable to the kitchen. It is blood, sweat, and respect. The first two you give, the last one you earn. And I'll cite my sources. You may have heard of him, The Rock or Dwayne Johnson. And we memeified it at the restaurant, and there's a picture of me below it just saying, please don't get the first two, the blood and sweat, into our food.
Yeah.
Keep it sanitary.
Yeah, and you have to make those deposits, right? You have to put the work in. You have to do the work to be able to get the returns. That's what I think of when I hear you share that.
Yeah, I think when people open a restaurant and they don't have enough experience, they don't get the respect. And I think it's important to put in the work, pay your dues, and then people know you're serious when you start.
100%. All right, so before we dive into your story and find out how you got to where you are today, let's paint that picture of where you are today. So how many total concepts are you working with today?
We have two concepts. So we have Burger Chan, which we founded back in 2016. And then we had a concept that we came up with a few years ago but never got off the ground called Borrowed Goods. Diane came up with both names, by the way. Borrowed Goods started as a Singaporean concept. And so because Singapore is a melting pot, they borrow from a lot of cultures. So the food there has, influences from India, China, Indonesia, Malaysia, Britain. And so it started as a passion project because I went to a boarding school in Singapore for a couple of years back for middle school. And right now, since we've stepped away from the restaurant a bit, we've had time to do pop-ups, and we kind of revived the concept.
Yeah, and your business partner, who was hopefully going to try to join us today, hopefully later in the week we can connect with him. He's kind of making that possible, right? He's stepping in and you're stepping out to focus on new projects.
Yes.
And we'll get into that. So your burger concept, Burger Chan, 1 unit, how much are you willing to say up, like what your percent prime costs are, like how you're splitting that up and what your percent profit is?
Sure. So to be honest, since the transition, I'm not super familiar with the numbers as much as Ryan.
Yeah,
unfortunately.
Ryan was here.
Hopefully if you get to speak to him, he'll have all the numbers dialed in. But
if you could take an educated guess, ballpark, not to be spot on.
Sure. So as far as cost of goods, I know it hovers somewhere between 30 and 35. Food costs have been going crazy. I think Ryan's done a really good job of shopping from different distributors and having them go against each other.
Yeah.
That was something I think I was a little less good at. I was good at, going to different stores and supplementing with what I needed to keep the cost down. It's just kind of taking it into my own hands.
Right.
But being really loyal to one broadline distributor. Obviously, when things got too crazy, I would tell them hey, I'm seeing this product.
We'll get into the details of how you guys are playing the game.
Yeah.
But I'm just trying to get a snapshot right now. So between 30 and 35% on your cost of goods. What about labor? Where are you hitting there?
Labor, I believe, is probably still around 30.
Okay. So you're getting it right around between 65 and 60% prime cost, which is good. That you're hitting targets, right?
Yeah.
Where are you at with your percent profit?
I think since they took over back in April.
Yeah. So they being Silver Lining Hospitality.
Silver Lining Hospitality.
Ryan Stewart's business.
I am not sure there's any profit right now. I think they have been continually investing more to upgrade everything.
Got it.
So that's been kind of the most exciting thing. They're trying to ramp up operations. They've increased the hours of operation by a lot. We used to be lunch only 6 days a week. It's currently 7 days a week with dinner on 4 nights, I think.
Okay. So they're ramping up. So where you guys are, you have this concept, getting national accolades, national press. I know you're mentioned on Yelp as a top 100 restaurant. You're number 24, 27 out of 100 one year.
Something.
I don't know, Yelp. I'm sure you guys earned the accolades, don't get me wrong, but anyway. But more importantly, I think locally here, you're getting also accolades. And what were those accolades?
Houston Chronicle top 100 restaurants. I know the food critics have written about us and they've been really nice. But ultimately, like, people coming into the door, I think, is the ultimate accolade.
Can we get into the ballpark of where you are with revenue to get an idea of kind of the volume you're doing?
Sure. So historically, we've been a little short of 1 million each year, but now with all the increased hours, we're gonna finally break through the 1 million.
And how many seats do you guys have?
We have a little under 50 inside, and then we got patio that is about another like 40.
Got it. And what about your new concept? And do you want to speak to the new concept because this is kind of was it your idea?
It's always like a combination of us. So Borrowed Goods, the name comes from, obviously it was Singaporean, but also I think it transcends just that, in that everything is borrowed, right? If you're creating a new dish, you're borrowing it from somewhere, right? If he created a sauce, he's borrowing it from, his time in Shanghai. Right. So that resonated for me, the name, like, regardless if it was Singaporean or not. And I think that with the partnership, we wanted to kind of differentiate ourselves to be like, yes, we'll always be Burger Chan, but now we're Borrowed Goods. And Borrowed Goods really is just us. It's our project. It's constantly evolving, like us as people. And so we've been doing pop-ups. He's been testing dish ideas. It's us.
Yeah. Honestly, and I don't know if my opinions are going to be shared on this one, but I think that everything that is knowledge, everything that is known by human beings, by humanity, is borrowed goods.
Yeah.
If we know it today, I think that we should all have access to that new knowledge.
Yeah.
I think sometimes I wonder how I feel about, copywriting and what's not the copywriting, but trademark, or not trademark, but what's the other thing that's like when you have to apply to get a way to do something like a patent. That's the word I'm looking for. It's like these things. I understand why we have to protect our intellectual property because it's our well-being, our welfare, our security.
Yeah,
was pull me back to your original quote. But when we lock innovation behind closed doors, that holds back society.
Yeah.
When we lock information behind closed doors. And sometimes I experience that when I get certain technology companies or consultants on the show, they aren't always willing to share exactly how the sausage is made.
Yeah.
Because they're afraid of it getting out there. But are we hurting the industry by doing that?
I was going to let him talk, and you can go on it, but like, he doesn't give a fuck in that technically
being Willet.
Okay. Yeah. In that, let me backtrack to what I mean by that. When staff are onboarded, you sign a confidentiality agreement. Right? You're not supposed to share recipes, blah, blah, blah. But like, people can do whatever they want, right? Like with the internet, blah, blah, blah. And Will is like, if you steal a recipe, you steal a recipe. I don't care. Like, he has this like, I'm not a one-trick pony, right? So if you steal this recipe, I'll just do another recipe.
Right.
So.
And you might know how to do something, but can you do it consistently? Can you do it with the same amount of passion and, life that you do it in? And like, it's not about what you do, but it's about how you do it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. Like, people are always afraid to share their ideas for concepts with me. I'm like, chill. It's if it's truly your passion, your baby, nobody will be able to do it like you.
Yeah.
So, okay, where does it make sense to start sharing your story? Unless there's anything else you want to get out on the table before we go back to the beginning.
I mean, we could be here all day, right? If you want to go back to the beginning. So I think that we should start with more recent stuff.
Okay.
Right.
So you weren't working in restaurants before this, right, Diane? You were a math teacher?
Yeah, middle school math teacher by trade. When he started this concept, it was originally called Kuma Burgers. He's like, I don't need you. You can go back to teaching after you have, we had a daughter. He's like, you can go back to teaching. And I was like, all right, I'll do that. And you have to learn, this is like maybe a relationship thing, but like sometimes your spouse says something and they truly believe it. And you're like, we'll see.
You might have the best intentions.
You might have the best intentions.
You don't know what you don't know.
And he's this way where he can be really cocky. Like, I only need 4 people. We'll be fine. And as his wife and like having experience, I'm like, I think I need to ask 2 more people just in case he needs them. And so, I wasn't supposed to be a part of it, but as you can see,
Yeah.
Now I am.
Well, here you are.
Here I am.
Yeah. So, but you, Willet, you knew you wanted to do food from at least 2007 because that's what your LinkedIn says. You were working in the restaurant industry in 2007. You guys met in 2003, correct? College?
Yes.
Got it. And where were you going to school?
Rice University.
Go Owls.
Nice. And where is that? Is that here in Houston?
That's here in Houston.
Okay. So you met in college. It wasn't love at first sight, right?
No. You did your homework.
A little bit. Just a little.
Yeah.
Whatever you shared out there is what I found. But you were eventually what time did you guys get married? When was that?
2012.
2012.
Okay, so you were working in the industry since 2007. So let's go back to real then. Like, did you know you wanted to open a restaurant? Was that always the goal for you?
I've always secretly loved foods, and I have, in fact, fantasized about opening a restaurant from as far back as maybe high school. But, being Asian, it's, and a lot of other Asians have probably touched upon this already. It's kind of a scary thing to get into unless it's your family business, because it's, definitely a blue collar industry. And so Asian parents aren't super accepting of it because it's like, what'd you go to school for?
You're in the land of opportunity.
Yeah,
that's why you're here. That's why we uprooted our life to come and to.
Yeah.
I don't want to make assumptions, but is that I've heard that's kind of like the whole idea is to go into this place and to make the most of it, right? This country.
Yeah, and also I think it's very Asian to measure success financially. So it's well known that restaurants fail. They're risky. Even when you're at your best, you don't make a lot of money. So it's an instant failure. There's no win in that situation. And it wasn't until... So I graduated in 2006. And then in 2007, after Diane graduated, we ended up moving to Seattle because she was pursuing a PhD in sociology. And finally, kind of being in a different city from my parents, I felt the courage to apply to some restaurants just to get a feel. And I applied to a bunch of sushi restaurants just thinking, well, there's no actual cooking. It's probably easier. It wasn't. It was very demanding, but, it really polished my knife skills, which were non-existent at that point. And long story short, she stopped her program because she didn't want to pursue it. And our parents pressured us to move back home because they're
Being
like,
Houston.
Yeah, why are you in Seattle?
Where are you both Singaporean?
No, we're Chinese.
Neither
Chinese.
of us are Singaporean.
Okay, so you just like the Singaporean culture.
He.
I do.
Oh, got it.
Yeah.
Got it. So looking at your LinkedIn, 07 sushi chef, 09 you were a manager at the Renaissance Hotel, Garde, right?
Yeah.
In 2010, you found yourself at Uchiko. Am I saying that correctly?
Yeah.
In 2011, you did your own catering, Willet Chef Services.
Yep.
Did that for a year. 2012, you were a line cook at Oxheart
Yep.
Restaurant. And is that in Seattle?
That's in Houston.
Houston, okay.
It's now T-Rex, Theodore Rex.
Got it. I want to say I had them on the show. There's a chance. It was almost 7 years ago, though.
Justin Yu?
Justin,
Yeah, that sounds really familiar.
So he gets,
I think we would have done it
confused
remotely.
for him all the time, and then I get confused as his wife.
Oh, okay.
We're friends.
Oh, I think we might have done it remotely. I'll have to double check. I've almost done 1,300 episodes. The wires. I know that they're on my radar, though. I want to get them on the show. They haven't been on the show. 2012, you were a line cook, again, Oxheart. 2013, the Grumpy Pig. You were there for 2 years. 2017, you were a culinary instructor. And then 2016 is when you opened Burger Chan.
Yes.
Kuma Burgers at the beginning.
Kuma Burgers at the
We got a
beginning.
cease and desist.
Got it. Anything worth going deeper into on that come up?
Sure. When I was a private chef, I got really lucky. I got to cook for a basketball player, Tracy McGrady. So I did that for half a year and realized I don't like being a private chef. Not because they were bad or anything or mean. They were great. But I don't like cooking with restrictions. And anytime you cook for someone, especially if you're a private chef, it's all about the client, right? It is.
Yeah.
And I'm too selfish as a chef or a cook. Like, I realize I want to cook my food.
Creative freedom.
And so the best way to do that is to do a restaurant or pop-ups and serve your food and find your audience, like have them come to you.
Yeah. Yeah. I was curious. Only a year. I was wondering what went wrong there, but apparently it just wasn't right for you. It wasn't the kind of cooking you wanted to do.
I missed learning.
Yeah.
You don't learn when you're by yourself. Like, you can do all the reading you want, but you don't really learn unless someone else is yelling at you, really.
My teacher heart is growing when he said that. Learning.
Well, that's a great segue into your story. And while you were kind of building your career in culinary, well, you were teaching full time.
I was teaching.
Also a tutor, correct?
Tutor, yeah.
So do you find yourself wishing to get back into teaching ever?
So I get that question a lot, and I think about that a lot. So if you go back to my notebook, I literally was trying to list my top. I originally wrote top 3 personal values, and I was like, I can't do 3, so I did 5. Right? So I'm the type of person who's constantly like evaluating what's my true essence, right? Because then you can be really intentional in what you're doing. And so originally, when I graduated from college, I didn't know what I wanted to do with my life, because I went into college just being like, oh, there's all these courses I want to try, right? And I was just trying to pursue a passion. Then I got to senior year, and people are like, what are you going to do after graduation? And I'm like, I don't know.
Senior year of college or high school?
College.
Got it.
So I'm really good at school. So I was like, I'll just do more school and kind of delay thinking. So that brought us to Seattle. And so he touched on that I started a PhD program.
Totally like left brain, right brain opposites here. Like you're very left brain with your math teacher.
Yeah.
Desire.
I'm
and then
not,
you go total
I'm not
right
creative.
brain with sociology. So what was it about sociology that pulled you in?
I like people. I like connections. And I think that's why I really like doing front of house.
Yeah.
Right. I like connecting with people. I like connecting with my students. I like working with people.
It's rare to have the strengths on both sides like that.
Yeah. But don't put me in the kitchen. Like, I love when people, they call everyone chef. And I'm like, I am not a chef. Don't call me chef. But anyway, to go back to, sorry, I ramble. So what was the original question?
This is a podcast, so you're allowed to ramble. Restaurant owners, what if I told you there was a way to lower your prime cost by $1,000 and get paid $1,000 on top of that? If it sounds too good to be true, it's not. Restaurant Systems Pro is offering that deal right now to 10 of my lucky listeners. Listen closely. Join the Restaurant Systems Pro 30-day prime cost challenge, and if you successfully improve your prime cost by $1,000 or more compared to the same 30 days the year prior, they will pay you $1,000. Find the link in the show notes titled Restaurant Systems Pro 30-Day Prime Cost Challenge. Click that link and get signed up today. Only 10 people are going to get approved into this program. Get on it. No, just trying to understand your background and what you're doing before this.
Teaching.
And I asked that question. It was kind of a trick question because I don't want to put words into your mouth, but when you open a restaurant, you are a teacher.
Yeah.
Like you never stop teaching.
Yeah.
Like it is, you're constantly training people. And it's not just like skills, like how to do math. It's that and how to be a better person, how to show up and how to be a contributing member of society.
Yeah.
And like we were talking about it before we hit record, like you're teaching teenagers and young adults in their early 20s how to be responsible and how to like, I don't want to put words into your mouth though. Like what's going through your mind as I'm saying this?
No, like when I was teaching middle school math, I taught math because I like math, not just because I'm Asian, but also because I'm confident enough in my math ability to explain it to people who don't get it the first time. Because I think a lot of things are really scary, like math, and if you don't get it the first time, if your teacher isn't confident in the concepts, then they're just gonna be like, you don't understand it. And then people feel like, I'm not good at math. And it's not that you're not good at math, it's just that you didn't get it that one way. And so I like to break it down to be like, okay, Eric, you're not getting it. Can you explain to me what you're thinking? Like, let me meet you halfway and then bring you the rest of the way. Instead of saying, you didn't get it, you're a loser, you're bad at math. And so I think that that translates well to restaurants, right? In that I want to give everybody the benefit of the doubt, whether it's my staff, whether it's the customers, right? Like, I want to meet you where you are. I want to make you feel comfortable. I want to establish some sort of commonality. Oh, you were talking about sociology, like why I majored in sociology. And it's just like, at the end of the day, it's about people.
It's all about people.
It's all about people.
Yeah. I don't think we realize it's like we take for granted our dependency on others. Like we take for granted oxygen. It's like we need it to survive. We breathe it every second of every day, but we don't realize that we need it. Yeah. It's like relationships are the same way. People are the same way. We are If you take somebody, you go back 15,000 years, you take somebody who's in a tribe and you throw them out into the wilderness on their own, they might survive a little bit, but not for long. They need that tribe. We need people.
Yeah.
It's a part of our DNA.
Which is funny though, because we need people, but also sometimes you fucking hate your team.
Yeah. Love-hate relationship.
It is definitely a love-hate relationship. And I think that that's anything, right? I think the older that we get, we understand that nothing ends up being black or white. It's navigating the gray.
Right. So let's go back, fast forward to 2007. No, sorry, 17. That is 16, right? Was that when you guys opened?
Yeah, that's when you opened. Yeah.
But it wasn't Burger Chan then.
It was Kuma Burgers.
Kumin Burgers.
Kuma.
Kuma Burgers.
So Kuma means bear in Japanese.
Got it.
Yeah.
And how long, like, before you actually opened a Kuma Burger, before you got it open? Like, what was that process of conception to open?
So it was second gen. So the thing was, that was when I first started wanting to do Southeast Asian food. And I would, look up available places and meet with the landlords. And then I'd see other like restaurant operators come in afterwards. And inevitably, I kept getting passed up because I had no restaurant ownership experience. And everyone just wants a second location, something proven, an operator that already has a success track record.
Right.
Which is frustrating for first timers. Is how am I going to get any experience?
Yeah. And now everybody who heard that, I want you to think to yourself, when you put something, we're hiring, experience required.
It's like,
everyone's got to start somewhere.
Everyone's got to start somewhere.
But at the same time, if you're investing your assets into somebody, whether it be your physical, tangible space that's an asset or money, like you want to gamble on a good horse.
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah, we get it.
You got to understand, right? So it's hard to get started, and you're struggling to get that first opportunity. You didn't want to do a burger concept out of the gates, though. That wasn't your original vision, right?
So we have a lot of industry friends, thankfully, and a couple of them were at Greenway Plaza, which is essentially an office food court. And they said, hey, a lot of these vendors might be wanting to get out. And so one of them, David Bureau of Greenway Coffee, introduced us to Bango Burgers. And, at first I was just like, it was like, you could take over the spot, you could do burgers, make it your own. But I was like, I don't want to do burgers. I don't. So I said no. Like, I went down there, I saw the place, I thought, it's kind of a sad little food court. It was also like Christmas time, so it was like the worst time to go down there because everyone's on vacation. Right. I was like, I don't see any potential here. And then, but I'm also impatient. So like a month later, I'm like, okay, fuck it. Let's try for it.
Why not?
Yeah. So, another friend that was down there, John Peterson of Rice Box, he helped like introduce us. We had dinner together, and we got the ball rolling, and they were selling it. I mean, this is common. They were selling the concept, right? They're not just letting you get in there for free. They're like, we're not doing much here, but we could stay here forever, basically. Like, we don't have to get out. And so we bought their concept for way too much money for a bunch of shit we didn't want or need. And
it's an opportunity cost.
Yeah,
basically.
So it's a huge opportunity cost.
What do you think they meant by they don't have to get out? Was it basically like the rent was low? It's like,
the rent's super low. They could survive forever there.
Right. But why did they want to get out?
To make money. Like, they want to.
So they sold the concept to you?
Yeah.
But you didn't use their concept.
And they knew that. Since I'm a chef, they knew I was going to do something else.
So why? They wanted an exit strategy. They wanted out.
But they could stay forever.
Okay. But you purchased their business with their branding and everything?
Because he just wanted to start.
Okay. So you purchased their business and then you buried it?
Basically, yeah.
Okay. Knowing what you know now, would you have done it differently?
No, I'd say never pay for a concept you're not going to use unless everything else about the deal, like the rent or whatever, the location, is just too good to pass up. Because otherwise, and I don't like to say this, but you could either wait for them to die and then you can get in for free, or you could just go somewhere else.
Right. And I do think your approach to go to a turnkey operation is the way. And I think the best way to break into the restaurant industry is to be someone's exit strategy in a turnkey operation. A little overhead, go in, be someone's exit. And I try to echo this as much as possible. Just recently this year, I read a book by Corey Sanchez. I don't know if it's Corey, something Sanchez, Main Street Millionaire. She's actually based in Austin, Texas. Is it Corey Sanchez?
I don't know.
His last name's definitely Sanchez, but it's in that book, she gives a blueprint to basically how to approach an existing business owner and to take over their business with no money down. And you just basically do profit sharing and like you pay them back on your profit over time until you own the business. And it's a really great approach. And I think that there are so many second generation operations out there that you could do this with, especially in the restaurant industry, because usually the kids don't want to take over the restaurant.
Yeah.
You know, more times than not.
Yeah.
So you just bought the business outright. Did you have money put away?
We borrowed from parents.
Yeah. Do you mind sharing how much you had to come up with in order to buy this business?
60,000, I think.
60,000. That's pretty good. All in. You know, it's low. And how much money do you have to put into it after you purchase it?
Not a whole lot. We DIY'd everything. Like we used a lot
Free
of
labor right here.
we used a lot of wood to transform the space. So I have several high school friends who are just really into woodworking as a hobby. So they helped us build things and change the storefront, and we did it for real cheap.
It looks really. I saw the photos online. It looked really cool. I really liked the vibe you guys were able to create. So all in, maybe $60,000 plus a couple extra thousand to just tweak it. How did your parents think about? What did your parents think about giving you money, even though it might have been what they wanted for you?
I think they were okay with it because at least it's a progression of my career, right? I'm not just continually working for someone else. But I think parents have, I don't know. I'm using Diane's mom as an example, but she's
lovely.
It's like constantly kind of hypocritical where she'll love telling like her friends like, you know, restaurant owners, they're so hardworking. But then she'll turn around and be like, you're the bosses. Like, just give yourself time off. Just do whatever you want. It's like, no, we can't.
Yeah.
And she'll like give us like all these like tasks to do. Like, well, you have time. You're an owner. It's like, no, we don't have time.
You can build up to that point. It takes time to remove yourself from the business and to build it up. And you're in that process right now, partnering with Ryan.
Yeah.
We'll get into that.
Yeah.
So early years, biggest challenges that you had to overcome, and how did you overcome that?
Well, the first one was staffing.
Yeah.
So I severely underestimated the number of staff I needed. But then also, so this is why Diane really had to step in at the very beginning. The first day of soft opening, the one person we trained for cashier did not show up.
She had a family emergency.
And
sometimes you're like, family emergency? But I think it was like a real emergency.
It was real, but like maybe 10 minutes or half an hour before she was supposed to start working, like she was already hadn't shown up like a couple of hours earlier, and I kept texting. Finally, she's like, we just had a family emergency. I'm sorry, I can't do this job.
Yeah. It's real. But also, I think you have to realize that nobody's ever going to love your business as much as you.
It's your baby.
Yeah. No one's going to show up like you.
It's funny because people are like, do you want to have another kid? And I was like, I already have another kid. Yeah, it's called the restaurant. Plus my staff, plus 10 children. I have enough children.
Yeah. And you guys opened in 2016. When did you have your first baby?
2015.
Yeah, 2015.
The year before.
So that's the funny thing is that when he soft opened, and he was like, I don't need you, right? So I was still like gonna go back to teaching. I had a toddler strapped to my chest.
Twins.
And I literally walked into to just
the restaurant and
him.
the baby. That was the joke, just for the record. If anybody didn't get that, sorry. Keep going.
I didn't get it. I just laughed to be nice.
Thanks.
It's like Arnold Schwarzenegger and Danny DeVito.
And so I walk in to be like, congrats on your new venture, and he's like, oh my god, Diane, like. Well, he's like, I don't have a cashier. And I'm like, you don't have a cashier? Crap. And so literally so I always like to tell people, to be very honest, like we have a support system, right? We have 2 sets of grandparents that live in Houston. We have quite a bit of privilege. And I think that that's something that I'm totally like, I want to be transparent, right? It's a tough industry. And so do our parents help us out every now and then? Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Right. And so going back to that, like I just called them. I was like, hey, can you come to the restaurant for a few hours? I took the baby off my chest, put the baby on their chest, jumped behind the counter. I had no idea like what I was doing. And I was just like, you just got to make it happen.
Yeah.
Right?
I think privilege is very special. I think privilege, that word carries negative air to it, but
Yeah.
it shouldn't.
It shouldn't.
What you do with your privilege is what you should be determined or judged by. Like,
Right.
are you just effing off with your privilege, or are you doing something? Are you
Yeah.
are you leveraging that to make something for yourself? And, I think what's worse is if you have privilege and you don't use it.
Yeah.
That's a shame.
And don't get me wrong, our parents aren't like multimillionaires, but like they came to America for a reason, right? They had
Right.
cushy jobs with great retirement. Like my mom makes more in retirement than I make working, right?
Same with my dad.
I think
so-
the boomer generation can say that.
Yeah, yeah. And so
It's getting hard out there. They have a lot of assets appreciating making money in the background. Anyway.
So they're looking at us and they're like, why did you go backwards? Like, look where we went.
Yeah.
You were supposed to stand on our shoulders and do more. And you jumped off our shoulders and ran away. And sometimes you have to do that when, like, in your heart, this is what you want to do. Like, we chase challenge. We chase, like, doing something that's worth doing.
You have to love it, I think there's something to be said that in that. So you guys open up. Was it like busy out of the gates, or did it take time to build up?
So it was busy out the gates, but the first week, the soft opening for the first 3 days, I chose to open really late, like basically at the end of lunch, like maybe from 1 to 3 or something, just trying to really limit the amount of people that would come. And we were so unprepared because, okay, so I borrowed the idea from another concept, Witch. It's like a choose your own adventure sandwich
Borrowed
shop.
goods.
Yeah. They if you're not familiar, they have paper bags, brown paper bags with the menu on there, and you check what you want. So like, I want this sandwich with lettuce, tomato, onions, whatever. So I thought that's a great idea. I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to put it on clipboards. We're going to hang it up on this line and we're going to zip it down. And because they work off that menu too, physically.
So the bag that you're getting your food in is also the ticket.
Except we're doing a slip of paper.
Got it.
And I had mimicked the system without really figuring out how to execute it. So I installed a line, but I didn't have the clips. And I had so many bad ideas. So literally the first 3 days, every day we had a different clip system.
Like he would push a menu across and it would fall and we'd be like, shit,
So
that's
60
someone's order.
Yeah.
$60,000 on a restaurant, another $1,000 on clips.
Yeah.
It was like clothesline, IKEA clips, bag clips, and like it would say bag clip, and we're like, we need to turn it around
Yeah.
because like that. It's a low standard, but it's a standard.
Yeah. The clothesline was so stupid because I threaded it through the hole. But the thought was, if I have enough, we're going to get to a break and we can move all the lines back.
We never had a chance to
That
push it
never
back.
happened. And so we ran out of clotheslines. Like,
Got it.
well, shit.
Were you a smash? Do you consider yourself a smash burger?
Yes.
Okay. Were you a smash burger from day one?
We were.
Oh, we were. Sorry.
Yeah. No, it's not. Our OG burger is the 5-ouncer, so it's not your typical smash burger, but we do smash it.
It's smash it, but it wasn't originally paper thin, and it was just because we inherited a flat top, and that made sense.
Yeah. Well, more volume, right?
I didn't want to buy preformed patties, so we got the ground beef, but I didn't want to like get a tortilla press or anything and press all of them. So we just smashed to order. And
So did you like weigh out for portion control, like
Yes.
the ounces in
Yeah.
advance and just throw it in the grill, smash it?
yeah.
Got it. So busy out of the gates. What were some of the challenges that you were talking about? Just trying to figure out the system for.
Yeah, so this actually ties into a quick advice, and that's if you're going to open a restaurant somewhere, you should work at other restaurants in the same city. Not just to understand the market and what people want to order, but to grow your network. Your coworkers in those restaurants become your allies.
100%. Yeah.
And I'm not saying like...
you had Aaron Lyons of Dish Society
Yep.
on
and
the podcast.
I worked there like
Okay.
for a couple of months
Nice.
before deciding I need to be my own owner. I can't do this. I love Aaron. Aaron and Trent, they're great. But honestly, it was not a good fit, their kitchen. Partly because I don't speak a lot of Spanish, and a lot of their workers don't speak a lot of English.
Yeah.
It was bad.
But the silver lining was, even though it was a bad fit as a job, he met people.
Right.
That when he opened Kuma Burgers, he's like, crap, I need more people. Who did he reach out to?
I didn't.
You did?
They came to support.
Oh my God, I forgot.
So
they literally were in line, and they could see the panic in the eyes, and they're like,
and two coworkers from Dish Society came to support, to buy food, and they saw how bad we were drowning.
Yeah.
And they came behind the line like, hey, do you need help? It's like, yes.
Yeah. And now when we see friends doing events, and if we see like they're in the shit, like we've been in the shit before, we're like, do you need help?
Yeah.
Like, we're here to support, but if you need hands, I will give you hands.
I used to spend more time with this podcast talking about the come up, and I think that is a key part of a pattern in successful operators, is that they had deep roots in that community of restaurant professionals, because they went and they worked for the best in that community, and they built this army behind them. And then when you go to open your own place, you're not just putting out like, hey, come work for me, but you're recruiting the people, your closest allies, the people, or making them your business partner. Like if you were a badass chef and you got close with the front of house general manager, that's a match made in heaven right there. You know, and then it's those relationships that become your future business partners. Or at least you pull your foundational staff with you to have that foundation.
It does lead to drama if you're poaching.
Yeah, you gotta find that too. But at the same time, if you're not giving the opportunity to your people, they're gonna find it somewhere else.
Yeah.
Right.
So there's also that balance too. Are you just creating jobs? Are you creating careers and opportunity?
Yeah.
So like that makes it so restaurant owners know that if they're not growing and opening more locations and investing in their staff and saying, what's your vision? What do you want to do? Well, we're successful. We can invest in you. If you're not investing in that talent will find it someplace else.
Yeah.
So there is that balance there.
Yeah. And I definitely think that bringing Ryan on board and partnering with him, I think that he, because we were just so in it, right? That we knew that there were certain things that you should do to help your staff grow, but we just didn't have the bandwidth to really think about it. And I think that with partnering with Ryan allowed us to step away to really kind of do the things we knew we should do, both personally and professionally, but just didn't have the time.
Yeah. So, you guys are busy out of the gates. You're getting do your friends stick around a little bit, or do they kind of just help you get going?
Yeah, so I guess I'll give a quick shout out. So it was Nick Salceda and Mike Lee, and they were so clutch because we were like trying to hire people, but it was hard to get people in. And literally for the next month, they showed up on all their off days to pitch in, which was just so clutch because we were drowning every day. It takes an army. Them.
It takes a tribe.
Yeah.
I want to say too, this pattern of going further together works with restaurant owners. It's the restaurant owners that choose to not compete against each other, but to collaborate and work with each other and to know your lane and to find other owners who are strong where you're weak and say, well, let's combine for. I think you guys are doing that today.
Yeah.
With Ryan Stewart. Who wasn't able to join us, but we're going to get into that partnership. I'm hoping to get him later in the week or on a future trip. But sorry, keep going with that train of thought that you were saying before, like the shout out to these folks. And
and Jose is going to get butthurt if you don't mention him. So.
Oh, he's coming up.
Okay,
we haven't gotten there yet.
Okay,
so Jose was the other kitchen manager at Dish Society, and I didn't poach him, but like a few months after we opened, he came by to support, and he was like, "Hey, are you hiring?" Because either he already left or he was going to leave. And I said, "Yeah, sure, we could take you." And he came on board, and he was really great, lots of experience, a workhorse. But he had this problem where he kept showing up late all the time. It's like, Jose, why are you late? Why are you late? And it just became this thing. It became really problematic. And I remember, and so there was a day where we were very short-staffed. And so just to give you an idea of our structure for back of house at least, obviously we have a dishwasher, we have someone on fry station, we have one flat top cook, and then we have 2 burger builders.
So 5 people online.
Yeah, and then
Or
because
back
breakfast
house.
started taking off, we have a 6th person who focuses on making breakfast. We had one day where the breakfast cook and my other burger builder, I was on burger builder, both called out in advance. They had reasons. One, I think, had to go to their daughter's thing at school, and the other had a doctor's appointment. Okay, so we're 2 down. Whatever. You know, me and Jose, we can handle it. Jose will cook breakfast. I'll prep for lunch. The day starts. Jose didn't show up. He shows up like 2 hours later. I'm like slammed. Breakfast was like incredibly busy, as every time you're short-staffed, of course. Everyone just shows up.
Right. Murphy's Law.
Yeah. And I think up to that point, every time that someone's been really late, I'm just like, thank God you're here. We'll talk about this later. Get the fuck on the line. Like, get to work. But I felt like this was creating such a negative environment where everyone's just like, oh, it's okay if we're late.
Well, the thing is, that is the standard. What happens every day is your standard.
Yeah.
That's the reality of it. It's not what you say, it's what you do.
Mm-hmm.
And I finally just had to be like, Jose, he's like, sorry, chef. And I'm like, why are you 2 hours late? Overslept his alarm. I'm like, well, Jose, if you stay here, everyone's going to think this is okay. And he really needs to make money. And so I did the only thing that could really punish him, which is I sent him home. I'm like, sorry, dude. Like, I just can't do this today. Like, you just got to go. We'll talk tomorrow. And doing it despite knowing this is going to actually hurt me more than it's going to hurt you, because I am so fucking understaffed today. Thankfully, the burger builder who had a doctor's appointment was able to come in after his doctor's appointment. But we still didn't have our breakfast cooked, so I'm stuck doing breakfast. He shows up. We like hurriedly like prep for lunch. I have to do 2 positions at lunch. I have to be flat top and burger builder too. Ticket times were stupid long. They were like half an hour, maybe even longer.
For a smash burger, which the whole idea, the appeal is that it's fast.
Yeah.
Yeah, so as front of house, I did not approve of this decision, but I also knew as his wife, like, he needed to make this decision.
Right.
And, you know, so we sat down with him the next day. He showed up on time. We sat down with him maybe after service, and we were like, Jose, we got to change this pattern, or else you can't stay here. We bought him an alarm clock from Amazon.
It's the one where it's like you put a sensor under the bed and it shakes the bed.
Really?
I was like,
It
I'm going
runs
to buy
away. It's on wheels.
Yeah.
I was like, heavy duty. No more excuses.
And, you know, I think it drove home the point. He's been with us for 9 years. He became my kitchen manager when we opened up here. I'm not sure. I'd have to check with Ryan, but I want to say he's the general manager now. So sometimes you have to correct the mistakes your workers are doing. You have to drive home the point that it's serious, that, you know, they have to take it seriously. But if you invest in them and if you are willing to continue to take the risk on them, sometimes they become like a really great ally down the line.
It's like tough love. Like in the classroom, I started the year actually quite strict, right? And by the end, it's like, okay, like if you're doing well in my class, then I'm actually a nice person.
It was always the teachers I hated the most in the beginning of the semester that I ended up liking the most.
Because you hate doing, like, everybody hates doing work. Everybody hates being told what to do. But it's that tough love of like, I know that you're going to appreciate this down the line. And so that tough love translates from the classroom to the restaurant to everywhere.
Right. And I like to echo as much as possible, you know, the mission statement is to inspire, empower, and transform the industry. And we transform the industry by transforming people. And I think that is your job as an owner, is you're not just this transactional. People don't work for you, you work for them. They come to work and you put everything you can into creating opportunity for that person, giving them skills, giving them ability, not disabilities. Hopefully you're not smacking them around.
We're not talking about that.
Yeah. But like that, we are in the, like, and that is business. I think it's weird. Like we look at like, we created like the school system out of trying to create employees, and we want people to come to us fully developed and fully built, you know, like, ready for use out of the box. But the truth is, those people come to us. It is our job to give them those skills, to build them up, to maybe they didn't have the same privilege we had with the upbringing. And, we have to give them those disciplines and those habits. And that's how we make the world a better place. That's how we build up communities.
Yeah. It's also really special. Like we had one staff member, I won't say her name, and she'd never had fish, like fried fish. And so we had a panko breaded, cod, or was it cod at the time? Now it's mahi. And she's like, I don't want to eat it. I don't like fish. And I'm like, but you've never had fish. She's like, I don't want it. And I'm like, just take that one no thank you bite. Like I do that to my child, like one no thank you bite. And she tried it and she was like, this is really good. And so like those small moments of
what was the quote you shared earlier today?
You want me to read the whole thing?
Just the part that applies.
Hold on. Oh, it takes a lot of courage to release the familiar and seemingly secure, to embrace the new. So she tried something new.
Yeah. You never know until you know.
Yeah. Or we like bring food from Chinatown for our staff to be like, we really like this food. We would like you to try it. And that, that's not part of our job description as restaurateurs, right? There's no list. It's just, this is how I would want to be treated. So
what was the biggest growth in that first 3-4 years? Because you guys were open 2016 and you closed in 2020, right?
COVID.
So what was the growth? What was the evolution during that time? Or your biggest challenge that you overcame that made you stronger?
So we actually also moved within the same food court. Maybe it's something you didn't know, but we were in like that original spot, which was pretty gross and like breaking down. And they wanted to refresh the whole food court. And so thankfully they broke down another spot, made it brand new for us, asked us what we needed, and then moved us to that new space.
And the landlord paid for everything?
Everything.
Yeah. So we're like, sweet.
Nice. That's always nice.
We'll move. Great.
Yeah. So you made that move. Was there a peak of a peak time of operation before moving to your new spot? Because you guys were closed for almost 2 years, right? You didn't find this location until 2022?
We signed this lease
2019.
in 2019.
But we all know what happened.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So you never got open.
Yeah.
You chose to wait to reopen until 2022. Or that was when you could reopen.
There were just a lot of delays.
I'm getting some side eye right now.
There were a lot of delays. Early on, some balls were dropped and just everything was delayed, partly due to COVID, but it was just a crazy time. And so things did take significantly longer than everyone thought it would.
Yeah. I mean, at some point during COVID, we were like, maybe we should maybe we should not do this anymore.
This is a sign. Yeah.
Yeah.
Are we skipping over anything in the first 4 years before moving to the 2020s?
No, I mean, things just kind of grew steadily. We added breakfast service, which...
Are you still doing breakfast today?
No.
Okay.
Yes and no, but mostly no. There's like a secret breakfast menu.
Well, it makes sense in that complex because it was like an office. So there are people that wanted breakfast sandwiches.
Yeah.
And it was significant. Like, it was maybe a third of revenue.
I mean, I think there's a lot of opportunity in the world of breakfast sandwiches. It's an underserved market.
Yeah.
For sure.
And we did like build your own omelets. It was cool.
Nice. Mm-hmm. So breakfast and lunch, you didn't do dinner, closed for dinner.
No.
Ultimately, what made you want to move out of that space?
I always think, are we building towards a retirement? And the answer is always no. It's just hard to build towards a retirement with restaurants. And so the constant thought is, how do we level up? How do we get to that next stage? And so a second location was, at the time, my answer. Like, maybe we just need to grow.
That one was supposed to stay open, and then we were going to open like a flagship. But due to COVID, we closed that original location. It just didn't make sense anymore because people were working from home.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you closed that one. You opened the new one. Didn't get open until 2022. When you opened the new location, did you do it differently, more intentionally, in a way for it to be better? Like taking the lessons from the first one to make 2.0 better?
We tried.
But honestly, staffing was even harder at the second one.
Staffing is always going to be,
Yeah, it was weird. Like there was a great exodus, or what do they call it? The great resignation?
Quiet quitting.
Quiet quitting.
A lot of quiet
All
quitting.
of a sudden, like, oh, why would I go get a job when I can get free government money. Like,
Yeah.
sign me up for that. And also, I think the gig economy really took off post pandemic.
Yeah.
More and more people that were using things like, I think Uber Eats took off. Already people were doing Uber. Then there was Uber Eats, and then there was that grocery shopping app, and like
Instacart.
and it's work on your own calendar, your own schedule. Like it's hard to compete with that. Yeah.
So bigger storefront, bigger footprint. We need more staff. It's even harder to get staff. The opening was hard, and wanted to make sure we had enough staff, and we were like a little unprepared our first month open. So ticket times were really long. We weren't. You're never ready. Same with having a kid, right? You get as ready as you can, but you're never actually ready. And we made so many mistakes. But then February came, and we were slow. And this happens with restaurants everywhere. But
February
I think
2022?
Yeah.
Or 3? The following February? Because you opened in 2022.
the same year. So we're 2 months in.
2022.
Got it.
And this is true to all restaurants, but I think particularly in Houston, every place that grand opens, line out the door. Bonkers, just crazy. So we don't go to any grand openings unless there's a real reason to, because we don't like to wait in line, and we know that they're barely getting it
let
together.
them dial it in first.
Yeah. But then the problem is no one goes the next month and the month after. Usually any of the hotspots that are opening now, if we go in the second month or third month, we don't have to wait. It's easy.
Yeah.
The same thing happened to us. And so February revenue was just scary low.
Yeah.
You were asking of prime costs. Our labor in February was 100% of revenue.
Wow. So you're losing money with with your cost of goods. That was going out the door.
We bank with Bank of America, and they have their little AI widget thing that pops up that tells you something right now it's saying good job, on average you're saving $1,000 more than you're spending, or something like that. Those early days, literally it popped up and it said, do you need help?
Pull up.
Yeah,
you're
it's
crashing.
You're spending $14,000 more per month than you're earning.
Yeah.
And what's funny is outwardly, people are like, you're killing it. And I'm like, no, it is killing us.
Yeah. And that's what makes me think of my parents, because I grew up in the restaurant industry. They had lines out the door every weekend. This is back in the mid 80s and the early 1990s. You can't go to restaurantowner.com and get blueprints and listen to a podcast and learn about what it takes. You could literally have lines at the door and you're not making money.
Yeah.
And people are like, oh, you guys must be killing it. It's just my parents struggle paying the mortgage this month. I have memories of my mom crying at the dinner table trying to figure out how she's going to make it all work.
Yeah.
Taking 3 kids to the grocery store, one grocery wagon full of food for the house, the other one full of food for the restaurant.
Yeah.
It was hard.
Yeah.
Anyway,
it's
not my story, it's your story.
And going back to my original quotation, it's the reason why we kind of are doing something new, and because I had my health stuff, it's sometimes you do need to take a step back and reevaluate what's worth doing. And I was I'm looking at my daughter.
Gonna get emotional.
Fucking hate this. And I'm making all these people happy. And the one person that matters is when can we go home? So that's why we didn't do dinner for the longest, but it's not good for the restaurant. What's good for the restaurant is not good for your family.
Right. And I'm happy you're going there, because, I talk to a lot of, I wonder sometimes, I look at some of these people who are crazy successful from the outside looking in.
Yeah.
And the people that we'll call the greatest of lists hold up and honor. And you start looking at what these people have to do to be quote unquote successful. And you're like, we don't want to make examples of these people. They're fucking psycho.
Yeah.
They are mentally broken. They are not all of them. I don't want to make blanketed statements. They're ego driven.
Yeah.
Or they just have some kind of OCD or some kind of mental disorder. And your Michelins of the world, your Food and Wine magazines, your James Beards, these entities focus on the just lifting up and making like this is what you should aspire to. And it's like, is it?
Yeah.
Is it like what?
Because it can be unhealthy at that level.
Unhealthy.
100%. Yeah, to be the best, you have to sacrifice a lot.
Yeah.
And not to totally like shift pace on what you were saying, but like I think there's a correlation there of like, what are you willing to sacrifice to gain the respect from, you know, the consumer and your peers?
Yeah.
Like, at the end of the day, is that what matters, or is the closest relationship, your children, your family?
Yeah.
Like that matters.
And I think stepping back to reevaluate and see what matters, because I think what matters in your 20s changes from what matters in your 30s and what matters in your 40s. And I think that allowing yourself to evolve and say, okay, I thought one way in this decade, I'm allowed to change, right? Like, he doesn't have to be a burger guy for life. I don't have to be a middle school teacher for life. Like, you can change if you want to, right? Like, I'm a recovering workaholic / still a workaholic, but like, you can change. And part of it is having people hold you accountable, having podcasters hold you accountable. Like, you said that you were going to step back to focus on your daughter. So don't like get all healthy again and then go back to your old self.
Right.
Like, be intentional.
Yeah. So you guys, you recognize that you're at this place where you weren't finding that balance and you had to find that balance. When did that come into picture?
Well, let's first talk about surviving the restaurant.
Right. The couple years relocating.
You asked about the turning point and, you know, or like the growth spurt of the first location, but really there wasn't a huge one. It was just like this really steady ramp up. We had all this built-in clientele. But in the new location where we currently are, there was a singular moment that really helped us survive. And without it, we would have closed. So by summertime, we were struggling bad. It was like a constant thought of like, do we try to break the lease and cut our losses? Because the losses are just too severe. And we got this email that we weren't sure if it was real.
It looked like spam.
You never know these days. But it asked us to be on Good Morning America.
Oh, wow.
To go up in this burger competition. And after a little, you know, Googling, like, is this legit? You know, we think it was. So we replied, we're like, yes, we'd be extremely interested. Like, please save us. And so somehow we managed to get on the show. I don't know if you watched any of that happen, but we went up against Trill Burgers.
On Good Morning America.
You know, which is Bun B's, the rapper's restaurant.
Okay.
And, you know, it was like a big deal. Like, there was even like, whoever wins this segment goes to New York next Friday. You know, they were telling us the travel plans and what they would cover, what we would cover. And, you know, it just felt so real. Like, so the day comes, we got to get up super early. We got up at like 3 in the morning because it's taped live. We show up at St. Arnold's Brewing. Got to meet Bun B, which was awesome. Met the chef that they have for their team, and just getting ready. And you're allowed to like have fans come out to support you. And our fans were just amazing. They created all these like unique posters and signs and like a big poster of my head.
Good Morning America. That's in New York, right?
That's in New York.
You had fans travel to New York?
No, they taped here in Houston.
Oh,
it was
okay.
live from Houston,
Got
and then
it.
like, yeah, that would have been cool.
I was going to say, damn.
And so like, if you ever watch the segment, if they show the audience, like Trill Burgers fans, they all had like the same sign.
Yeah.
Like just mass produced. Ours had everything. Everyone made their own. It was like so beautiful. That was actually, I think, my favorite part of it. And so I make the burgers. It's go time. We go to judging. We lose. We were swept. All 3 chose Trill Burgers. It was kind of embarrassing. But, you know, on camera, you just have to, like, accept it and be graceful. And you know, definitely grateful for the opportunity. Didn't think too much of it. We head back to the restaurant. You know, our team's already there prepping. We get there at around 9 a.m. Prep. It's business as usual, right? About half an hour before opening, this line starts forming outside of our door. And we're like, oh, shit.
Oh, shit.
It's about to go down.
Yeah.
Like, what what the fuck is this? Like,
don't y'all have work?
Yeah.
And this just aired.
Well, I mean, even any media is good media, right? Or any press is good press, right?
And so doors open, and the line just does not die down. It's like our first, like, holy shit day where the line went till we closed. I think we were, like, cooking 30, 40 minutes after closing because there were just so many people.
We might have had to, like, ball meat to order because we're like, it's blowing
we were
away your
running
part.
out,
We're
yeah.
running out. We're like running out of lettuce, running out of bread.
It's fresh.
We're running out of everything.
And how long did this continue?
A while.
Months.
Yeah.
Because, thankfully, Trill Burgers wasn't open.
They were a pop-up.
They were a pop-up. So everyone was coming here like, where can I get Trill Burgers? It's like, well, they're not open, but we are. So we'd love if you gave us a try.
Yeah.
And they did.
Is Troll's Burger open now?
They are.
Yeah.
I think they have 2 locations, actually.
Restaurant owners, what if I told you there was a way to lower your prime cost by $1,000 month over month and get paid $1,000? That sounds like a deal too good to be true, but that's exactly the deal that Restaurant Systems Pro is offering 10 of my lucky listeners. So why are they doing this? Because they consistently help their clients get between 15 and 25% profit in their business. And when they approach new clients and say, I can do the same thing for you, they get met with a lot of resistance. And because it sounds too good to be true, most restaurants think if you do between 5 and 10%, you're doing good. So to hit 15 or 25%, like what do we have to sacrifice? What scam are you throwing at me, sir? No, thank you. But the truth is they really do help people hit these numbers. And the way they do it is by having all the most important systems that are tied to profitability fully integrated into an enterprise solution. I'm talking like accounting, inventory, scheduling, checklists, training systems, general ledger, balance sheets, costing cards. So when you have all those systems dialed in, ironclad, tied, connected, fully integrated in an enterprise solution, you get data. And when you have data, you can make little tweaks here and there. And those little tweaks, you can see the fruits of your labor, the effects of your efforts. And that's how you hit 15 and 25% profit. And on top of all this, they also have support, which is unheard of in today's age. So you get all these things compounded that help you hit that 15 to 25%. And if I have your attention, keep listening. Join the Restaurant Systems Pro 30-day Prime Cost Challenge, and if you successfully improve your Prime Cost by $1,000 or more compared to the same 30-day period last year, they will pay you $1,000. If you're listening on YouTube, iTunes, Spotify, find the show notes, and we will have a link titled Restaurant Systems Pro 30-day Prime Cost Challenge. Click that link and get signed up today. Only 10 spots, guys. Do not wait. Get your spot, lower your prime costs by $1,000 and get paid that $1,000. They're actually calling this a reverse guarantee. Get on it. At the end of the day, I think in order to get certain accolades, certain awards, you have to be unreasonable. And I think that so many people look to those who get the awards, that get the accolades, and that's what they aspire to. But the issue is that aspiration is a false dream. It's a false reality. All those people are living, our job in the restaurant industry is to transport people, to create false realities. And that's what you see.
Yeah.
We don't see the reality. We don't see the cost of goods. We don't see the labor. It's unsustainable.
It is.
And maybe that food that you're creating is sustainable in the sense that like everything that you're getting is from the farm that day.
Yeah.
And that's beautiful. And there's a balance we can find.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that we can't support local, but to do everything from scratch is not a sustainable business model. So you have all these young people that want to win awards and they chase awards and they fail and only one small sliver, a 0.01% of the restaurants will get the awards.
Yeah.
There's not enough marketplace to support those restaurants to get the awards.
Yeah.
We have to be sensible. We have to start making examples of people who are creating fiscally responsible, fiscally sustainable businesses. And you can still support and do good things locally, but you need money to put back into the community.
Yeah.
If you're not making money, then what's the point?
Yeah.
And it's not all about profit. And I'm going to stop my rant now. I
No,
apologize.
I love it.
But it's part of what I want to get out into the world. Like we have to lift up the right people.
Yeah.
And marketing is rigged, for the record. All media is bullshit for the most part. Not all. Majority. Overwhelming majority.
I'm going to let you say that. I'll be like, I'm going to nod.
Well,
quietly.
I want to say, I have to say, I have
Yeah.
to be a spokesperson for the
Yeah.
industry to
Yeah.
say like, we're fucking shit up, you know?
Yeah.
Anyway, my rant.
I mean, that's a whole different podcast that we could go into.
Yeah, but part of this podcast is to expose the reality.
Yeah.
To say like our involvement in these organizations, we're lifting up the broken narrative.
Yeah,
of the
I mean
industry.
Michelin, right? It's a tire guide.
It's
right?
literally started out of a marketing campaign.
Right. So I mean, you know what it is.
Right.
Yeah.
I think this whole thing points to something where, outside of the few exceptions where maybe your concept is just extremely privileged or you're somehow just able to rig the system in a way, but for everyone else that's out there, a lot of it's just sheer luck. It really is. There are so many great restaurants, so many fail that are great, truly great. And some places that are mediocre go on for eternity. And so like for us, like getting Good Morning America was luck. We didn't do anything.
But to an extent, you do have to make your own luck too. You can't just like wait to be lucky.
The harder you try, the luckier you get. What's
yeah.
the saying?
Yeah.
There's a balance.
Yeah.
And so, I often lament the fact that I've tried to get on some cooking shows because I just naturally am competitive. I want to know where I stand with the people I see on TV. Because, I truly, now more than ever, the more experience I get, I don't think anyone who makes it to the TV competitions are any better. They're just luckier. Just like how we got on Good Morning America. We're not better than the other burger spots. We were just luckier. But that luck creates opportunities.
Right.
And you'd be a fool to waste it. Like, once you get it, you have to milk it, and you have to do as much as you can with it.
Yeah. And that goes back to why we overpaid $60,000. It's like sometimes you just have to chase the opportunity. It might not be the perfect one, but you got to start somewhere.
First.
Yeah. You got to start somewhere, and like you have the intel in front of you, right? You don't know which path is the better one. Right. And at some point we were having this conversation about like, I'm the waffler and he's the commitment guy. And that's why we work really well. But it's like,
what
at
do you mean
some
by
point,
waffler,
so we're thinking about moving to Taiwan. And so he's going through the process of like getting his passport, and we're like, maybe we'll move to Taiwan, and maybe we'll move to Taipei, and maybe we'll do this. And at some point, it's like you can't keep saying maybes because there's so many contingencies upon that. Like, do we rent our place? Do we sell our place? What do we do with our daughter? Blah, 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 blah. And it's like, for him, he was like, this whole time I thought we were committed. And I'm like, we are, but like, I'm the one that waits till the last moment, evaluates all my choices, and then be like, okay. But then he's like, you got to commit because you just don't know.
Yeah. Yeah. It's kind of scary that China might be moving in on Taiwan.
Exactly. You don't know.
Got to weigh that,
Yeah.
Not to scare you guys out of it.
No, I mean, that's the thing is like at some point, I mean, it's with the restaurant too. It's like, this is the intel you have. What does your gut say? Do it. Yeah. It might be a mistake. You don't know.
But there's only, you got to live.
There's only one way to find out.
Yeah, for sure. So 2022, you share your story up to mid-summer 2022. You get featured on Good Morning America. Things start to pick up. Your line's out the door. Mm-hmm. You're getting additional accolades. I mean, is this, you got like the food culture map or whatever too? Was that before or after? This is earlier, right? Or maybe you were getting recognized before 2020 and then you got it recognized again after?
Yeah, we had recognition from both Culture Map and Houston Chronicle and our old spot too.
Yeah. And even with all that recognition, is it because you had like almost 3 years off in between where you kind of lost the regulars? Getting them back was hard?
Well, the regulars are hard because a lot of them are office workers.
That's
and if
true.
They're working from home, they're not even in the area
How
anymore.
far is your original location from where we are currently?
About 10 minutes away.
Okay.
But the
too
thing
bad.
In
is,
a city that's in traffic, that could be...
But the thing is, the work culture changed. So a lot of them, instead of working 5 days a week, they're now hybrid.
Right.
And so they're
Or
just
spread
not
across the country.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or hello, the economy.
Right.
Right. So it's like they were regulars, but now they're like, look, I got to cut back. And I'm like, I get it.
I mean, we essentially had to find our new customers.
Yeah.
And, we go out to eat a lot. I've always loved restaurants. It's always been a passion of mine. And I think one of the coolest things when we look out into our dining room is the diversity of people that come in.
Yeah.
Like that's truly speaks to the diversity of Houston, but just also the broad appeal we have, right? Like we're trying to create something for everyone.
Right.
And I know that's not actually possible, right? If you try to appeal to everyone, you appeal to no one.
I think the burger is a very approachable thing. I'm thinking about burgers. I've been thinking about burgers for like the past hour and a half. I'm like salivating over here. I can't wait to get one of these things. So what point, because you're in this transition now, right? In 2025, you announced, in April of 2025, you announced that you're partnering with Silver Lining Hospitality.
Yeah.
Ryan Stewart was here. He wasn't able to sit with us to share his side of the story. But that's, I think right about now is when we would be transitioning into that side of the story. So how long was this conversation bubbling up before you actually reached out? Like how long were you looking for somebody until you found somebody?
Do you want to answer or do you want me to answer?
You can answer it because I'm going to cry.
Oh, okay.
You're allowed to cry. It
I'm
makes for
gonna
good.
cry.
It's great content.
So towards the end of last year, like around September, October, there was a period where I was just burnt out. I'm just like, I'm so over this shit. I don't want to do this anymore. I want to cook other foods. I don't want to be pigeonholed.
Yeah. This was 2024 you started having this
Yeah.
feeling, or before?
Oh, before. Years.
Yeah.
Like maybe since year one. It's just me. And so real quick, like borrowed goods, we haven't done a lot of repeats. Like the menu has been so diverse each time. Like I've done a sit down 3-course lunch. I've done chirashi bowls. I've done hot dogs. I've done freaking everything. Like
He's making up for last time.
Yeah.
yeah, like people are always like, oh, I wish you'd do that again. I'm like, no, probably
No.
not.
Yeah. I mean, do you worry that there's a market for that?
There is. They show up. Yeah,
That's good.
for sure. I think you build up the reputation, and if they trust you as a chef, they want to see what you're going to make.
Yeah. It's a journey. It's an experience.
And
Yeah.
it goes back to the relationships you were talking
Yeah.
about. Like they will follow you.
I think in markets like Houston, you can do that because there's a market for everybody. You
Yeah.
know, there's the person that wants their tried and true burger. They know it's going to come out the same way every time. It's going to be delicious. And then there's that market that they just want to be like, I can't wait to see what's going to happen. We have no clue, but that excitement that of not knowing, but you know it's going to be good that's fun.
Yeah.
That's an experience.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so, okay, end of last year, I think for a while, Diane had been trying to see if, by that point, we had a lot of staff who've been with us for a long time. It's like, how do I minimize the amount of time that Willet has to be in the kitchen so he can do other stuff?
Because the anger trickles to the house. He brings it home.
So what first moves did you start making to move yourself away from Burger Chan? Am I saying that right? I'm always
Yep.
afraid
Yep.
to say-
You're
thank
good.
you.
You're good.
To doing bar why am I struggling right now? All things borrow, not
Barred goods.
borrow's good. Thank you. Borrowed
Yeah.
goods. Like when did that actually start to happen? What did you have to do to start making that happen?
Oh, that was a big jump, actually, from one to the other. But I think that in 2024, that was kind of a key time where we're like, I think we've done everything that we thought we could do to make this work. And maybe we've hit like a ceiling for us personally.
Well, okay, also, so I kept wanting to expand operations to see if we could grow our revenue financially to become seemingly more successful, right? But Diane holds the family time as sacred and doesn't believe that if we open for dinner, we can truly step away. She believes
It was that
inevitably
control. I was a control freak. Like, if I'm not
Will
there,
be
it's going to
needed.
go to shit.
Yeah. Well, I think, what you're experiencing is what a lot of people, sorry, keep going though. I feel like I might cut you short.
No, not at all. But we could never come to terms on that point of me wanting to grow and her wanting to not grow. And it's like, well, then this is kind of pointless because we're never going to make enough money to retire.
Right.
It keeps going back to like, think
Yeah.
of the future. And so finally it's like, if she can't write me off the schedule completely, because inevitably I'm not scheduled on 5 days, but I come in 3 of those days because someone didn't show up. The usual stuff. Is like, what's the point? I'm still stuck here.
Yeah.
In some ways, it was actually worse. I'd like plan a day of something,
And then you can't
and
do
I'd
it.
cancel it.
Yeah.
I'd want to meet a friend up finally, and
Right.
I can't because
Yeah.
I have to go to the restaurant. So finally, we're like, okay, well, maybe it's time. We'll either sell the restaurant or close for good.
Shut it down.
But, you know, my preference was selling. I would love Burger Chan to live on forever and grow. And B, you know, the hope is we didn't just lose all of our sunk costs like we would if we just closed. So we put feelers out. We met with several industry people who are extremely well connected. And finally we met with Thomas Wen, who is a realtor, a commercial realtor. He used to be part of a restaurant here in town, Peli Peli. It's like a South African concept.
And Ryan's South African.
I think Tom Wynn. I think that sounds really
Thomas
familiar.
Wynn is very well connected.
Very.
Shout out to Thomas
I
Wynn.
might have had him on the show, but keep going. I know that Wynn is a very common name out here,
Yeah.
too.
Yeah.
And so
It's like Smith for Koreans, isn't it? Is it Korean?
Wynn is Vietnamese.
Thank you.
It's
Vietnamese.
okay. Kim and Park is Korean.
Right. Yeah. Thank you.
So yeah, we met with a lot of people, but finally when we met with him, he's like, you know, I got two people in mind. And one of them was Ryan, who he knows through Peli Peli. And then the other person initially was interested but lost interest. Like, we just never even met him. Mm-hmm. He was just like, hey, sorry, I'm not interested. And so we met with Ryan back in October.
2024.
And was very exciting. Like, okay, this could work. They did their evaluation based on all of our numbers. You know, he was like, hey, so he has a chain of things back in South Africa. He is like a serial restaurateur and entrepreneur, which we're not. We just aren't.
I like to joke we're like the worst business people
We're like
in
super
business. We care too much.
Reluctant
Right.
entrepreneurs.
Well, I mean, yeah.
If I could give away these burgers, I would.
Well, I was curious too. We never really got into it. I always kind of made the assumption that you were the creative because you're, as the chef, the creative, the food.
Mm-hmm.
And then you came in as a math teacher. I'm like, she's on the books.
Yes and no. People assume that because I love math, I love accounting and taxes. I fucking hate
Which is why you
accounting and
shouldn't make
taxes.
it. That you shouldn't make assumptions, right?
Yeah, exactly.
But I'm assuming you were the details, like keep things in order, like back office type stuff.
I
Or
did
no?
the stuff he didn't want to do, which was like the HR, which is
Mm-hmm.
the payroll, which is, you know, because it's easy. Like once you do it a few times, you can just do it.
repetition. Yeah.
But show me a P&L and my eyes just glaze over. I'm like, I don't fucking...
No, I'm happy you're being honest, and I think that I don't want this show to be like BS. I want it
Yeah.
to be real conversations
Yeah.
with real operators and
Yeah.
the things that people don't discuss on mainstream media because they're trying to create an illusion.
Yeah. But I'm the idealist. Like, it's all going to work out in the end. And
Yeah.
he's like, okay, but we're 40 now. So, like, at what point do we maybe switch? That's the thing you don't know. Like, you don't know if it's the 11th inning and if you just, like, I don't know why I talked about baseball because I don't know baseball. But, you know, like, if you just stick it out one more day or one, you know, like, you don't know.
Right.
And so in 2024, we're like, are we kidding ourselves?
I also had to keep reminding her, as a chef, my skills are depreciating. Like,
Or your body is. at
Your
least.
body is
Yeah.
breaking down.
I can't push as hard as I used to.
Right.
And it's just going to keep getting worse. And so if us making money requires me to push really hard, at some point,
If it
it's
hinges
just not
on
going to
his
happen.
body. Right.
Yeah.
So what was it about your, you know, Ryan Stewart, that he looked at your numbers and everything seemed to look like there was an opportunity here. Like, where were your numbers in 2024?
They're
They
good.
were just okay. Like, they're good, but they're okay. And so I think what drew Ryan, he's been itching to do more.
And we've been itching to do less.
Yeah.
That's great.
So it's like a perfect match.
Today, I think you gave a ballpark of about 35%
Food costs.
food costs and 30% labor costs. So you're doing about 65% prime cost.
Yeah.
Did you say your percent profit?
Currently is probably nothing because they're growing.
Yeah.
And when you grow, you're
What about
investing.
prior to when he took over?
Nothing
you-
crazy. Probably like 5%.
Okay.
Yeah.
I would make more teaching, though,
Yeah.
and I would have benefits.
Yeah. So did he look at this and say there's things you can be doing to streamline process?
Oh, for sure. Like, we hate checklists, and he's like, I'm going to do checklists. And I'm like, I'm not going to be here for that. So, okay.
Yeah. I mean, there is that balance of system, process, procedure. Like you got to figure out, like, how do I recreate myself in this business? If I get sick tomorrow, how does the business go on?
Yeah.
And that is a hard transition for restaurateurs, to remove themselves from the day to day, to not be on top of every little detail. It's their baby.
Yeah.
Like, you got to let your baby go out into the world and grow up and
Yeah.
do its own thing. That's a hard transition. It sounds like that was a hard transition.
It was very hard. Oh, it was harder for me than for him. He was like, peace.
So at that point, Ryan had 2 food trucks. I think he was like in the middle of buying a bar. He wants to buy and grow, and that's his thing. And he's apparently looked at a lot of restaurants already at this point, like years. And it's not that our numbers were like seriously impressive, but rather
There was room for
they were real.
Yeah.
He's like, you won't believe the number of numbers that were fake. And as they dug deeper and started asking questions, it was like, wait, how did you come up with these numbers? And then they realized,
oh, you made these up.
They made them up.
Yeah.
Or we pay our taxes.
Yeah.
We do everything.
Yeah. He's like, wow, this is real.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, the truth is 5% profit 2024, there's few people that are even doing that. I think that your concept could do 15, 20% with consistent volume. And if you really streamline system, process, and try to figure out, maybe charge a little bit more, like how much can we get?
Yeah.
So when somebody like Ryan comes in and sees you doing one thing really well,
Yeah.
I'm sure there's more than one thing that you're doing.
No, just one thing.
Okay.
One trick pony.
So like it is a business model that has legs.
Yeah.
And it's a proven concept.
Yeah.
That has rapport. Like, it's a legacy brand in many ways. Like, you are the smash burger of Houston.
Yeah.
There's opportunity there. I'm sure that's what he saw. And if he was here, like, now is when he would be kind of ramping up into what he saw and what the appeal was.
And what's funny is when you reached out, it was like Unstoppable podcast. And I'm literally currently stopped. And I'm like, I'm going to be a fraud on this podcast because we literally just stopped working. And I don't particularly feel unstoppable in this moment. Right. But then I thought about it more and he said it's true. It's like we handed the baton off to him.
This is one of the many paths you can take.
Yeah. To be unstoppable. And again, I'm the waffler, right? He's the committer. Like when we met Ryan, I'm pretty sure he was like, "Let's make this fucking happen." And I was like, "But my baby and all the but maybe we could do that was me."
There's options here. I think what's important from today's conversation is that there's 1,000,001 different ways you can go about moving forward.
Yeah.
And you got to figure out what makes sense for you. And I think this isn't a common path that people talk about on the show, but it's a very valuable path.
Yeah.
And I think it's important that people consider, maybe you build something and then you find a partner. Like, we talked earlier about like tribal, like we need people, right?
Yeah.
We can't be everything.
Yeah.
We can't, and it's only getting more competitive.
Yeah.
The marketplace is only getting harder. You need to be a part of a tribe.
Yeah.
And if you're the chef and you have, what would you give yourself your title? Like, co-owner, but like, what's your role here? Like HR, operations,
Mom.
admin, like the administrative, like you need the visionary that's going to go out and see what's possible.
Yeah.
Like you need that is a part, it was one of those legs to the stool that the stool needs to stand.
Yeah.
Like you can't do it alone.
And I think the thing is, it started to feel like a prison, right? Like we felt like we couldn't escape all the things that we had to do. And it was just like, and that's the thing, it's like, is this really worth doing?
Yeah.
So, and I think that you can keep doing it. And I think that there was like perfect timing where finally we were like, okay, let's do this. We step away. I'm like, oh, I have all this free time. And then I fucking get cancer.
I'm so sorry.
Because
this is recent news.
This is recent, April 2025.
Oh, wow.
I had 2 surgeries. I'm in the clear, hopefully. But I was like,
sending positive thoughts
fucking like the worst timing, but also the best timing.
Because you had the time to slow down.
Or what would I have done if I was still running the same way? Would I have taken time to even go get a mammogram?
Right. Would you have even known?
Because if I didn't get the mammogram, I wouldn't have known. And I think that when you're so busy, when you're so in the shits, you put your stuff on the back burner, right? Like, I could get the mammogram next year. Like, what if I did that?
Right.
And so I think that I was afraid of selling out, but I think that selling is not necessarily selling out. You can sell to grow, to become unstoppable.
cash in is what I like to say.
Yeah.
There's a difference between selling out and cashing in.
Yeah.
Cashing in is you're doing the work, you're building value, and eventually you cash in. Even if that value is a reputation in a brand that has a lot of, momentum in a market that just needs that systems operations person to take it to the next level. Right?
Yeah.
So what is the agreement you guys have now? Because you are still owners of the business today, correct?
Yes. We sold a majority.
Okay.
So combined, we have 15% of the company, so 7.5 each. And we will also have 15% combined of whatever second location they open
So
up.
you have 15, is that just the second location or is it in perpetuity of every location that they open?
No. So after location 2, if we want some kind of ownership, we'd have to invest.
Okay. So that 15%, 7.5 each, does that mean you get 15% of profit from the first and second location going forward?
So theoretically, yes. This was something during the negotiations, our side was warning us about where it's kind of tricky. And, these deals are always tricky, but there are a lot of things put in check to try to make it safe. But theoretically, yes. But there are obviously a lot of loopholes where we could never see a dime.
Yeah, if Ryan wanted to fuck us over, he could fuck us over. So the hope is that he won't fuck us over.
Our lawyer kind of walked us through all the ways that we could be fucked over. And I don't think Ryan will do it, but he could dilute the shares, right? He'd create more shares and our 15 becomes 1. He could never make a profit by upping the pay that he and his team get forever. Like if
So increase owners' pay and leave nothing for profit.
There'd be no profit.
Right.
So they're like, that's just the two most obvious ways. But the lawyer's like, I've seen deals like this, and the percentage doesn't mean a whole lot.
Right.
Like unless
is it equity in the business? Do you own 15% of the business? So if the business were to get sold,
you
would get 15% of whatever the selling price was.
Yeah.
How do you, I think this is where it gets awkward, right? And I always try to give my guests heads up. Like, I'm going to ask you questions that you're not supposed to ask people in a private conversation at dinner, let alone on a podcast.
Yeah.
Where I'm publishing it to the world. But the thing is, we don't talk about this stuff, which is where do people get in trouble? Money and relationships in the restaurant industry. Because we don't talk about it. There's no benchmarks. We don't know what's
And we're
good.
Asian. We really don't talk about it.
I know. So I'd like to say, my intention is to share benchmarks, to share perspective, to give people a starting point of this is how you negotiate these things. Here are examples. Yeah. There is no one way to do it, but hearing as many different perspectives as possible to find out which makes the most sense for you and your given. So what are the things that you can share, I guess, that can help empower the people listening to this? You kind of shared the model, 15%.
Yeah.
They get 75%.
I will say, I think
not 75, 85. Sorry, my math is horrible.
It's okay. I do that all the time.
That must have made you
And they're like,
cringe.
you're a math teacher. Yesterday, I was like, 13 times 2 is 36. And they're like, Diane.
I think selling, partnering, it's all very difficult for one main reason. The seller always overvalues their product. The buyers always undervalue it.
Right.
And the middle ground is virtually impossible to reach.
This is what we have lawyers for.
Yeah.
And they're so expensive.
But they are so expensive.
Right.
So the more you use them, the less both sides will make.
Right. And that's a reality too, is it's harder to do the right thing. They say, go get a lawyer. And it's just like, well, what's left for me?
But then sometimes a lawyer might almost kill the deal.
Right.
Right? It's like,
They're agreed to
we're
get more,
fine,
yeah.
but the lawyers are making it something that we didn't mean it to make.
Right.
Yeah, inevitably, and we've used lawyers
Almost trying to prove their worth.
many times, but they'll get the document, they'll just start marking in red so many things, even trivial things, just who are they using on that side? This is trash.
Yeah.
It was
this is where I hope AI helps.
It's we had to keep reminding the people who are using the lawyers, we just want this deal to go through. Let's not be, I know it's your job, but let's not be too nitpicky about everything. Let's we want it to go through.
So you guys have been working together. When did the first conversation start? October 2023. And then by April, I know that you had terms, right? Because I think you were published.
And they had started, his team had started coming into the restaurant
since the beginning of the year.
What are the biggest impacts that they've had on the organization?
Well, I'll say the biggest change is they got rid of the zip line and installed screens.
Where was your tech stack before he came on board? I'm curious, what were the first things that he started to do? You implemented KDS. Were you using Toast?
Yeah. We were using Clover.
Okay. Are you still using Clover?
No.
So what are the major changes he's had? You mentioned the zip line going. What else?
Clover became Toast. Yeah.
Okay.
Uber Eats.
Uber Eats.
I was very anti-Uber Eats.
Never going to do Uber Eats.
I turned them away as a sponsor once. I mean, because of probably the same reasons, because I don't want to lift up companies that I don't think are making sure the restaurant wins.
Yeah.
I also think the food dies, and it's really hard to communicate to the to the customer directly if you made a mistake, versus we used, and they still use Chow Now.
Yeah.
And so I get their name, their number, their email. So if we screw something up, I can instantaneously be like, I'm so sorry.
Wait, so with Uber Eats, you don't get that stuff? With
No.
Chow Now you do. And I think really the thing I'm worried about is third parties having too much momentum.
Yeah.
Because it's not just the consumers are more loyal to third-party platforms today than they are to restaurants. I think a big part of that is because they rely on third parties, they're literal marketplaces where they trust those marketplaces to get their information. But we know that those marketplaces aren't a real representation of what's actually good because it's a marketing platform.
Right.
And the other thing that scares the shit out of me about third-party platforms is they own consumer habits.
Yeah.
And I think we don't think enough about that.
Yeah.
Because you're hungry, you have a habitual instinct to open the app and to tap the thing, and it already has my order. 3 taps, wham, bam, I'm out of here. Food is on its way.
Yeah.
And we don't have don't forget you don't have the contact information. You don't have the consumer habit.
Yeah.
That's scary.
Yeah.
We don't talk about this stuff because we're ignorant to it.
Yeah.
We're like, but we're getting promoted to a wider audience of people that wouldn't know we're there.
Yeah.
And I'm like, and then once another competitor pays more for marketing, you won't even be an option.
Yeah. Whenever I see sponsored, I just scroll down. I'm like, no. Okay.
Right.
I think you lose something with convenience.
Right. So
you lose the relationship.
100%. 100%. I apologize, Will. I feel like you're going down a road, and I keep on going on my tangents.
So no, not at all.
My riffs. So you switched from Clover to Toast. You were thinking about Uber Eats. You decided not Uber Eats. You were using Chow Now, but now you are using Uber Eats. And what was the rationale there in terms? It was just because of the additional revenue, even if it wasn't owning the relationship.
I think they just wanted to hit a wider market.
More throughput.
Yeah.
Yeah. What else in terms of changes that have been made?
They expanded hours. So they started doing dinners, which we could never do. They tried Mondays. And I want to preface this by saying, I'm not trying to dog on Ryan and their decisions just because they weren't what we were willing to do.
They have more resources.
Or they just think differently. And I think that sometimes we're so caught in this is how we want to do it that we're like, that way sucks. But then if they do it and it's successful, and we're like, oh, maybe it's not that bad.
Yeah. And in full transparency, Ryan was supposed to be here.
Yeah.
I think we can say that he sat down. We were about to get started, and he's feeling under the weather. He's just like, it's getting worse. He's like, I can't. Yeah. But I'm hoping that we can get him on before I leave to share his side of the story. And if not on this road trip, I hope to be back in January. So we'll go deeper into that. I'd love to hear his perspective.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what haven't we discussed up to this point that you think needs to come out of the conversation?
Let me look at my notes.
Yeah.
Because I did my homework. I was a good student. Let's see.
While you're looking at your notes, the thought came through my mind. I think post-pandemic, we all went, whoa, we need to slow down. We're working too many hours. We're going to start a response out of a response out of survival was open for less hours. Right. And then I remember thinking to myself, how long is this going to last?
Yeah. Before
people just start saying, well, we can make more. We got to compete. We got to compete. Have we gotten back to that point, do you think? Or have we learned our lesson?
I don't know, but I did just have a thought because I have a lot of kitchen coworker peers, what have you, that I came up with. And this is like something weird to think about and say, but we came up in a different time, right? And obviously our time was already better than the time before. You hear of old French chefs like physically abusing the workers. But we came up at a time where the standards were extremely high. Of course, we got yelled at constantly. You know, if you're not early, you're late. That kind of mentality. I've even known some people who weren't good enough who had to work for free for certain hours each day to meet
I think
the
that's
quota.
something that has to stop is the staging, you know?
Yeah.
I think there's one thing to go learn, but to continue that.
For like 2 years.
Yeah. It's like, I get like, okay, a week you're getting in there and you're almost more of an inconvenience than you are because you don't know the kitchen, you don't know the routines, but keep going, Willet.
But I think it's hard because all of us, we had dreams of bettering the industry. Everyone does.
Right.
But I think the industry has bettered itself faster than we're prepared for. Like, not even better. Just people now want way more pay for way less work. And it really feels like people my age, you know, who came up at the exact same time, we're getting kind of the shortest end of the stick where we put in the work and we suffered a lot and we're improving things. But now you're asking for way more. And I don't know how I feel about all of it. I don't really know how to really unpack that. But it's like, I think it is essentially like the world moving faster than we can adapt to.
Right. I mean, it's interesting because I think as the world continues to evolve with technology and AI, I think they're saying up to 40% of jobs are going to be lost in the next 3 years. Those jobs are going to be white collar jobs. And I'm hopeful for the future of the restaurant industry because I hope that these people are going to want purpose. They're going to want to be around people. And I think at the end of the day, the restaurant industry is not going anywhere. Maybe you'll see more AI, more automation, more flippies. I don't know. Do you know what the flippy is?
Yeah.
Yeah. You know, like more robots in very simple kitchens doing things because there's always going to be that person that wants convenience and cost value over experience. But people are still going to want that third place. They're still going to want to be able to go meet and socialize and have relationships. And I think the restaurant industry is going to have a lot of opportunity going forward. But I guess my hope is that as more and more people who've gotten a taste of real jobs, quote unquote, they're going to come to this industry and be like, well, you know, they're going to demand it. And I think it will trickle down to the consumer.
Yeah.
You know, because eventually the consumer is going to have to pay for the cost of doing business.
Yeah.
Exactly. And I feel like that's kind of where business owners get the most stuck, where it feels like everyone's taking for you and you're trying to juggle both sides where everyone's now demanding more, which they should. But if the customers aren't willing to pay for it,
Where is it coming
the
from?
owner is the one paying for it.
Right. Yeah. So what do we do? What's the solution?
We moved to Taiwan.
And sell the business.
Well, and in all honesty, part of the reason we wanted to move to Taipei with the health stuff is just like, I want to see what quality of life is over there. And their food scene is vibrant and they don't have tipping and they have health insurance provided by the government. Like, what does that look like?
What would you do there for work?
Good question.
I have a spreadsheet. Like, it'll either be, there's like 10 options, but I could work for someone else again, or we could open something.
There would always be a job hiring a cook. Do you speak Taiwanese?
Mandarin.
Mandarin,
They speak Mandarin as well.
Is Taiwanese even a language? So
It
they-
is. It's a dialect, yeah.
Cool. That would be cool. Well, I hope it works out for you guys. I really do.
Thank you.
And I think that what you pointed out, you know, that it comes back to the consumer is what my job is to like go find answers. When I started this podcast, I was like, I'm gonna go figure it out. I'm gonna go find out the way to run a restaurant.
Yeah.
And the more I learned, the more I realized I didn't know anything, and the more I realized it's very complicated. And there is no one way.
No.
There is no single path.
And there's no
to take.
easy answer, too. Like, you
Right.
can get inspired by a podcast and then go back to work and get, like, deflated again.
Right.
Right? Like you just at some point you just have to pick something and fucking do it.
Right. And I do think that I've learned a lot of what is clearly broken with the industry that doesn't get enough conversation. We talked about a few of those things today. Marketing, I think, is a real issue with the industry. And that's not to say I don't believe in marketing, but I think that the ecosystem is warped in the direction of the people who own the platforms, not the actual people using the service.
Yeah.
Like the restaurant industry is not the beneficiary of its hard work. We make other industries rich.
Like, for instance, there's a lot of events to promote, like the top 100 guide or and they ask for free food.
Right.
And like the consumers don't know. The consumers assume you're getting reimbursed, you're getting paid. And it's like, no, this $1,000, $2,000 is supposed to come out of my pocket. And I'm like, I don't have a budget. That budget is my salary.
Right. So it's marketing, it's the idea of list culture.
Yeah.
Trying to make the list. Again, that goes back to marketing. It's directly tied to
Which,
marketing.
don't get me wrong, like every time we make something or
It
article,
helps
it's like, thanks.
For a year.
Yeah.
And then there's like this anxiety tied to
like a drug
making
addiction.
you need it.
It's drug addiction.
Yeah. In many ways it is. Dopamine, adrenaline, and then I think another big part is that didn't come out until just now is the biggest challenge, the biggest threat to the restaurant industry, I think, is the consumer. We are in a consumeristic marketplace. Like our job is to respond to what the consumer wants. That's literally what consumer is. Give the people what they want.
Yeah.
But marketing is telling the consumer that they want more for less and convenience. And that's what we're up against.
Yeah.
But that's not, if you look at what humans need, not the same thing.
I mean, it's funny because you can order as many patties as you want. And so I'm conflicted when I was cashiering to be like someone who wants 4 or 5 ounce patties. From a business perspective, I'm like, do it. But from like a mommy health perspective, I'm like,
right.
I don't know that you should be eating that.
I don't know if I believe in consumerism. I think I'm very much pro capitalism, but I think the restaurant industry, restaurant owners need to advocate for conscious capitalism. And that is prioritizing purpose over profit, which is a hard sell.
It's a hard sell.
But I think that we're moving into this future of more conscious people. What was that book you showed me today?
The Art of Living. It was over there, but I'm on a Buddhism kick. I
think that we are awakening as a society.
Yeah.
I think that people are pursuing this idea of mindfulness and consciousness more than ever before. And I think that is key. That if we have a standing chance going into the future, it has to be because people become more conscious. And we have to push and promote conscious capitalism. And we can't do that if we don't control consumer information and consumer habits.
Yeah. I mean, I'm also conflicted because I finished a book about the environment and how we should be eating less red meat. And I'm like, we fucking own a burger restaurant. What am I supposed to do?
Yeah, but is that real? Because in the same breath, you could say that beef is going to be what fixes the earth with regenerative farming. So you can't believe everything you see. There's a balance that I think has to happen. Definitely there's a balance.
Yeah.
Right? Do we need to eat as much red meat? Probably not.
Yeah.
But what does that balance look like? And
Yeah.
is it centralizing the food system or spreading it out?
And people don't like being told what to do.
Right.
So you have to be very careful in that. Right?
Yeah.
Like if you want to eat your 4 or 5 ounce patties, it depends. Like you have to read the situation. Like it's tough.
Yeah. I think we got a lot to learn, but what I'm excited about the future is that the information is fragmenting. I think we have to be careful with AI because that could sow a lot of disinformation. And I think that's something we have to be mindful of. What are you guys thinking? I don't want to do I feel like I'm talking too much right now. I want to make sure you get your thoughts out.
You sound like me because I always talk and then I was like, what do you think? Because I realized I railroad him all the time. And he's like, literally, I'm not thinking about anything.
Yeah, sometimes I'm just not thinking.
I can't read him because sometimes my mind is blank and sometimes I'm thinking about something and I'm waiting for you to ask me. So like I over ask him all the time.
Well, we can wrap it up if you guys have nothing to share. I don't want to force it on you, but it has been a lot of fun, and I do appreciate you welcoming me in. Even though you're feeling a little stoppable right now, I think that the perspective you had to share was really valuable, and the vulnerability was really appreciated.
I think vulnerability is something that I promote in that it's realistic because social media, I think, can be damaging. Like social media is necessary for a business, and social media does have its pros, but it definitely has its cons.
Right.
Because you feel like oh, they're super successful. They have it all together. Da, 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 da. And it's like, we don't.
Do they?
But but like, you don't want to put it all out there,
Right.
because then it's just like, oh, well, they fucking suck.
Yeah.
You know, so it's like you choose what you want to reveal, and it is a personal choice.
But it goes back to creating that false reality that we
Yeah.
put out into the world.
Yeah.
So no wonder why consumers have no clue.
Yeah.
Why, like, oh, like how greedy can you be? How expensive can a burger be?
Yeah.
Well, here's how we got to this price. Here's
It's like, I made 5 cents on this burger, so
Yeah.
just calm down.
So if you're creating a world that is centered around promoting ignorance because you don't want people to know what's real,
Yeah.
then you can't expect people to know what you can't. How can you be conscious if you're not getting the information that you need to be aware?
Yeah, and I think that's sort of the struggle that you were talking about, is there is this conflict between good business and like being a good citizen.
Yeah.
And I feel like it shouldn't be that hard. And there's 2 options. You can just leave the industry and be like, it's an impossible situation. I don't know what to do. Or you can try.
Yeah.
And I waffle between the 2. Sometimes I just want to go back to teaching, and sometimes I'm like, this is what we're meant to do, and ultimately we'll see how it pans out.
Yeah. I've really enjoyed today's conversation. A couple questions I asked before we wrap it up that I try to ask all my guests. I've been bad about asking some of these recently. I should get back into the habit. But what is one thing that you've done recently in your business that's had a huge impact on moving the needle?
For us, it was literally partnering. It's realizing sometimes that you just don't have all the answers yourselves, and maybe you're stronger as a larger unit, that you just need to team up to bring it forward.
I think sometimes it's hard to ask for help, or like, you know, to partner with someone to have that help to give you relief so that you can do something else and explore what else is out there.
In this example, you literally have Ryan Stewart, founder of Silver Linings Hospitality, who is a partner, a business partner. But have you outsourced to any partners recently? Services that do something that you could never do as well in-house, so you outsource?
That might be a Ryan question.
Yeah, I think they might be like looking at cleaning services. I mean, for the longest time, the cleaning service, the additional cleaning service was just us too.
Yeah.
Like we'd notice things and then we'd stay late to clean extra well.
Yeah.
Got it.
Yeah.
What is one thing about your business, a value, a process, a system that makes you truly unstoppable?
I think to start a restaurant, and if you want to be unstoppable, and I think Ryan actually touched on this earlier, you have to know every position. You shouldn't open something and just think, I just need the right team. I'm going to rely on everyone else's expertise. I'm just the person that has the money and
Because then you're
gathers
beholden
everyone.
to your team.
Exactly. You don't want to be beholden. It's not to say you can't trust the team and you can't delegate and you can't use people to grow, because you do need a team to run a restaurant. But it's also useful when you start it to know everything.
Yeah. You need a system-dependent operation, not a people-dependent operation.
Yeah.
I think there's something to be said about learning every role that your restaurant has before you delegate it. Because when that person calls out, you might not be the best person at it, but you can step in until you can find somebody else. Mm-hmm. The mission statement is to change the world by inspiring, empowering, and transforming the restaurant industry. So how have you personally transformed? How are you better people today than you were in 2016?
This feels like a therapy session. I'm like, am I better?
I think you are. I think you realize what matters more to you today.
Yeah. That's a deep question.
We'll get ready for the next one.
Well, I sharpen my own knives. I have since my first job as a sushi chef. And there was something they would tell me, and it is, a sharp knife is easier to sharpen than a dull knife. You know, common sense, right? Like,
right. Fewer strokes to get it back to where it was.
Duh, it's already sharp. Of course, you can sharpen it more easily. But I think that's true for everything, for your skill set, for your character, for everything. Like, it's easy to let things slip, especially now when our work is not as constant. But I think doing pop-ups and cooking at home and everything, like every day is a chance for continual like self-refinement.
Yeah.
Like you don't have to let your everyday dictate whether you stop growing. You just got to keep putting yourself in situations where you can keep polishing. Like we're stones basically, and we have to keep polishing or else we don't have any value.
I love when he just like throws out these little nuggets of wisdom.
Yeah, it's so true. It's like if you exercise and then you stop exercising for a year and you start eating like shit, you gain 20 pounds, you have horrible cardio, like it's going to be harder to get back in shape.
Yeah.
But if you get off the wagon for like a week, you might not feel, maybe you eat like shit the weekend before, but and you show up on Monday, you're going to be like, what the fuck did I do that for?
Yeah.
Like, I definitely don't feel as good as I did last week running,
Yeah.
but you're still going to be able to run the 5 miles.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And, it's easier to get back on the horse if you just fell off. You got to keep that constant.
And
gentle
sometimes
pressure.
you're meant to fall off.
Right. Sometimes that's what the universe had planned for you.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this next question is a doozy. If you got the news, you'd be leaving this world tomorrow. All the memories of you, your work, and your restaurants will be lost with your departure, with the exception of 3 pieces of wisdom that you could leave behind for the good of humanity and your legacy. What would those 3 pieces of wisdom be?
I'm looking at my notes.
I stopped asking this for some reason over the past like 2 weeks I've been on the road. I wasn't asking this question, and I don't know why. Do you think? I think maybe it's too heavy sometimes.
It's heavy, but I'm all for heavy.
Yeah.
And I wrote this a week ago, so I'm going to read it out loud because I actually don't remember. So the 3 pieces of wisdom. I wrote, at the beginning, no matter how much research you do and how prepared you may feel, you will scramble to make things work. You will learn on your... My handwriting's bad. You will learn on your work. What does that say?
Lean?
You will lean on your work. This is really embarrassing. Things won't go to plan, but you will still have to jump. I don't like that one.
Let's start from the top.
That's first draft. Let me just keep going. Sometimes you just got to go forward. Okay, number 2. It's okay to not feel like you have all the answers and don't have everything figured out. You learn as you go. Don't be afraid to be vulnerable and lean on others. You can't do it all, even if you want to or feel like you have to. Number 3.
Take a breath if you need it.
Box breathing.
There you go.
Okay. Hard work and dedication are valiant traits, but you need balance. You need to be working towards something other than for yourself, to build yourself up. All that hard work only means something if it positively affects someone else.
Do you have anything to add?
He's like, how do you follow that up?
Yeah, no, I mean, I didn't write anything down, but I think the general gist is the best we can do is to leave things better than it was when we got here. And
It's a Girl Scout motto, leave no trace.
Yeah.
life
Leave it better than how you found
Leave
it.
it better than how you found it.
is short. And I think, I don't know, running a restaurant is stressful, and you have all these moments where you're like, I wish I were dead. And that's a heavy thing to think and say and joke about. And I have known restaurant people who've committed suicide, and it's very unfortunate, but life is ultimately short, right? Whether it's 100 years or 60 years or 30 years, it's still short in the grand scheme of things.
Yeah.
And there's no real thing as immortality from that concept, but the most we could hope for is that people remember us. And you hope that they remember you positively.
Yeah.
And so I know your question was, there's no trace of you. What wisdom do you have? But maybe just to act in a way.
With the exception of 3. Those 3
Three.
things
Three
that you
things.
remember by.
Act in a way where you hope people will have fond memories of
Yeah.
you.
I love that. This has been a lot of fun. I can't do what I do without people like you first making time for me, which is hard to do in the restaurant industry, but also I appreciate you getting open and vulnerable and being transparent.
I hate crying.
It's not easy to do. And I think we need to be more honest with each other in this industry and stop putting up the false realities. It's hard work that we do. And I think that this is a path to being unstoppable. The path you're on is by choosing to go further together and to find people who are strong where you're weak, and I don't mean that in a disrespectful way. I don't think anybody's meant to be amazing at all parts of we need to do it together. And how can we connect with you if we really enjoyed today's conversation? And we want to follow up. Maybe we want to come check out your burgers one time we're in Houston. How do we connect?
Sure. Our Instagram is at BurgerChanHTX. And then if you're curious about our pop-ups, that's going to be at Borrowed Goods HTX.
Awesome. And I think I'm spurring this on you, but we have Restaurant Unstoppable community. I'm making it a goal to have all of my guests. I'm inviting you. I'd love to have you guys join us for a Q&A, live Q&A on Zoom sometime. So if you're interested in connecting with as many of the guests as I can get to show up for Coffee with Eric every other week.
Coffee, done.
Yeah. It's just restaurant owners talking shop, and hopefully I can get you guys to join that as well. And I think I should probably start giving my guests a heads up that I'm going to ask, so I don't spur them.
No, I was prepared. I do that. And I did want to add, like, what makes us unstoppable, which is sappy, is just the fact that we have each other.
Yeah, for sure. Stick around for the closing thoughts. I'll let you guys know if they agree to join us, what days that will be. And I literally can't do what I do without you guys. There is no questioning. You are unstoppable. Cheers.
Cheers.
Cheers.